Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves, baseball, and the rest of the league. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Friday, November 21st. It's been a minute since the last time we spoke, probably about a week and change. But honestly, we were just waiting for things to go down a little bit, things to shake up, so we could actually have something to talk about. We got some news regarding the Braves. We're going to get into that. We got some news from around the major leagues that we're also going to get into. We have some awards that were handed out. We got some qualifying offers that were accepted. Some were declined. We got some players that were non-tendered contracts that became free agents. So we got a little bit to talk about now. And if this is the first time you're getting into baseball, let me tell you this: the baseball off season is very, very slow. It's not like the NBA. It's not like the NFL, where things start falling into place rather quickly. The MLB offseason, again, is very, very slow. You got to be patient with it. You're going to have some big moves here and there, but it's not going to be all at once, more than likely. So we're going to get into the action so we can catch up with everything that's been going down. We're going to talk some Braves, and then we're going to talk some rest of the major league. So without further ado, let's head into our first segment.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we talk about the latest when it comes to the Atlanta Braves. And Tomahawk Takes is brought to you by our friends at SeatGeek. Use code CHOPSEAT20 to get $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. Go save some money on any sporting event, any concerts, any shows. Go to SeatGeek where it says promo code. Go ahead and put code CHOPSEAT20. And you're going to save $20 off your very first purchase on SeatGeek. And just because the baseball season is over does not mean code CHOPSEAT20 is. Again, use it on any other sporting events, any shows, any concerts, and you're going to save $20 off your first purchase. So last time we spoke regarding the Atlanta Braves, the decision had been made. The managerial vacancy was filled. Walt Weiss became the manager, and we were wondering what were going to be the corresponding moves to fill in the rest of the Braves coaching staff. And literally probably like a day after or 2 days after I finished recording the last episode, that's when everything started going down. These are the moves that went down. Pitching coach Rick Kranitz and the Braves, they parted ways. Jeremy Hefner is now the pitching coach for the Atlanta Braves. Name might sound a little familiar. Why? Because he was the former pitching coach for the New York Mets. Talking about the New York Mets, the Braves also got another coach from the Mets. It was Antoine Richardson. He will be the first base coach for the Atlanta Braves. Tom Goodwin is no longer the first base coach for the Atlanta Braves. Fairly younger guys. The Braves are starting to get younger when it comes to the coaching staff. Jeremy Hefner is 39 years old. Antoine Richardson, 42. And it was reported that the Mets offered to double Antoine Richardson's salary. He declined it. He comes to Atlanta. He probably wants to go to a winning environment. I don't blame you, brother. I don't blame you. Come over to the good side. He led the Mets. Well, not he didn't lead, but the Mets under his coaching led the MLB in stolen base percentage. It was 89.1%, 7 points higher than the next ball club. And the Mets, not really a team known for that much speed compared to other ball clubs. But again, they still have the highest stolen base percentage, which is very impressive with the staff that he, with the personnel that he had under him. So, you know, it would be good to see him bring that to Atlanta. Braves, a couple speedy guys here and there, but we didn't really run as much as we should have been running, especially in the last few years. So hopefully that brings a different look into the base running game for the Braves, a little bit more aggressiveness. And, a very good success rate when it comes to stolen bases would be good. It puts pressure on the defense and gives you a better chance of scoring if you're getting into scoring position, of course, stealing second, stealing third. You know how it goes. But let's see how that move pays off. And then when it comes to the pitching coach, Jeremy Hefner, from 2020 to 2025, when he was with the Mets pitching staff posted a 4.03 ERA. That is 11th best in the major leagues in that time frame. Very, very highly regarded coach. He's very well spoken of when it comes to everyone around the league. So, and he did a pretty good job with these young starters that the Mets brought up this year. He had some good results with the veterans that the Mets had in recent years as well. So, excited to see what he's able to bring to the table when it comes to the pitching staff for the Atlanta Braves. Next, the Braves also hired Tony Mansolino. He's going to be the bench coach for the Braves. He's also going to be working with the infielders. If that name sounds familiar, he became the interim manager after the Baltimore Orioles parted ways with Brandon Hyde. So he is now going to be the bench coach, taking over that spot that Walt Weiss left vacant after becoming manager. Bullpen coach is going to be J.P. Martinez. He was previously with the Giants. For the third base coach is going to be Tommy Watkins. He's coming over from the Minnesota Twins. He's taking over Freddie Gonzalez. Eddie Perez is going to be a major league coach, as well as Tony Diaz. Darnell Coles is going to be the assistant hitting coach. Tim Hires is going to be remain hitting coach. And then Dustin Garneau, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, he is going to be the catching coach. So 8 newcomers into the Braves coaching staff. Very, very exciting time to be an Atlanta Braves fan. That is what went down regarding the coaching staff. Last time we spoke, we had mentioned Ozzie Albies. His option was exercised. Chris Sales, of course, as it should be, was exercised. They declined options on Tyler Kidney and also Pierce Johnson. I was a little surprised about Pierce Johnson. I thought they were going to pick that up, but it still doesn't mean that they're not able to pick him up on a new contract. Both of those guys. So we'll see. We're going to have to wait and see what they end up doing with them. Jake Fraley, he was claimed by the Tampa Bay Rays, claimed off of waivers. He's heading up to Tampa Bay. Down to Tampa Bay. And then the Braves also claimed Michael Ciani from the St. Louis Cardinals. And today was the deadline for certain players to come to terms to tender. Those players that were tendered contracts before heading into arbitration. I can't even speak. Today was the deadline, 6 p.m. So the Braves, they did agree to terms with left-handed pitcher Jose Suarez, lefty Joy Wentz, and outfielder Eli White. Those are all 1-year contracts. Left-handed reliever Dylan Lee, he was tendered a contract but could not agree on any of those terms. So arbitration could decide those. When it comes to non-tenders, Alek Manoah and Carson Ragsdale, they were not tendered contracts. They will be becoming free agents. But then this was the big news. That was today, but the big news came a day or two ago. And it wasn't this one, but I'm going to mention this because this came first. The Braves acquired pitcher Ryan Rawson from the Colorado Rockies for cash considerations. But the two big pieces of news was that Raisel Iglesias would be coming back to the Atlanta Braves. He will be coming back to the Atlanta Braves. He was signed on a 1-year, $16 million contract to be the closer, as I'm assuming. I would like to see them get another closer, though. Maybe a little bit cheaper, maybe Pete Fairbanks. Because I love having – remember when you got that bullpen that everyone's just able to close, where you have like 2-3 closers in that bullpen, and everyone's just locking up their innings, whether it's the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th. They're coming in. They're shutting down the door. It's always great to have multiple closers. I would like to have at least one more closer. So Pete Fairbanks coming to the Atlanta Braves would be nice, but I'm not sure if they're going to be willing to do that. But the other move was that the Braves traded for Mauricio Dubon, the big utility player. The guy could play anywhere on the diamond. He was traded for. They sent Nick Allen over to the Houston Astros. He was also tendered a contract today, actually, Mauricio Dubon, since he came over in that trade. But yeah, it was those were the two big moves. You get your closer back. And yes, Raisel Iglesias had a very bad start to the year, a terrible start. I was one of the guys saying, we got to get rid of this dude. We got to get rid of him. But he was able to turn it around after that really, really bad start, which was very impressive done by him, because anyone else, you would have been like, bro, like, yeah, he's cooked. He's not going to be able to turn it around. But he indeed did turn it around. And, you know, a 1-year deal is not bad. 1-year deal is not bad. It's not that bad. All right. These were his numbers in the first 43 games. He had a 5.09 ERA in 40.2 innings, 8 homers allowed. His last 27 games of 0.34 ERA with a 26.2 innings, no homers allowed. He was able to turn it around. He was absolutely lights out in those 26 2/3 of an inning. So again, 1-year deal is not bad. I would like to see the Braves continue to solidify this bullpen. They're gonna have to, because there's a lot of open space there in terms of the bullpen, especially with Tyler Kinley being out, Pierce Johnson being out as of right now. Joel Jimenez, he was hurt last year. I don't know when he's bound to come back. I don't know exactly when, but he might not be ready for opening day as well. But again, at least you got your closer for now. At least you got. Hopefully, he's not going to be the starting shortstop, Mauricio Dubon. Ideal thing is for him to be able to be on the bench, come in late game, get in at bat, make a defensive play, you know, spell a day off for some of the guys, maybe in the outfield, maybe in the infield, wherever you want to put him. But you do not want him to be your starting shortstop, because we got to aim higher than that. No offense to him. He's a great player. He's able to – I think it's a big, big quality. And it's obviously you got to be very talented to be able to, you know, fit in any position, in any ball game. You know, to fill a spot in any position, to be able to move around like that, that is very, very valuable. But we don't want him as a starting shortstop. We got to aim higher than that. We want to have a Ha-Seong Kim starting at short, or Bo Bichette reaching even higher. But that's probably out of reach, because the Braves are not going to drop all that bread on Bo Bichette, most likely. I mean, you never know, but more than likely they're not going to drop all that bread on him. So it's a great move if we're still able to get our starting shortstop. If we have to deal with Mauricio Dubon starting at short, it's fine. But you're gonna have to upgrade somewhere else. Get a big bat somewhere else. Give me a big DH bat. Let me get a Pete Alonso in there, Kyle Schwarber, if you're gonna go that option, if you're gonna go that route at the shortstop position, because you gotta upgrade to a big bat. Pause. If you're gonna be like that at short, I'm telling you right now, or get another outfielder, and you know, have him as your DH and alternate with the outfielders, if you're gonna go that route. Or like I said, just go get me a big primetime DH, Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso, even Eugenio Suarez, bro. If you put him just a DH, I'll do one of those 3 bats when it comes to just a full-time DH. That's what I would do. But hey, I'm not the GM. And obviously, thankfully, I'm not the GM, because I would be doing some crazy moves, acting like it's MLB The Show. But I'm being honest. That's what I would do. If you can't upgrade at short, if you're going to have to stay with Mauricio Dubon, then we got a primetime DH, Eugenio Suarez, Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber. Spend the money there. Drop the money there with a big bat. Or if not, get a 4th outfielder that's able to move around, move that out. You move that outfield, the whole outfield around. Spill a day off for some of those guys on by putting them in DH, but Ronald Acuna Jr. at DH one day, put Jefferson Profile at DH one day, and then your fourth outfielder will be on the field. That's what I got for the Braves. I think that's all I have when it comes to the Atlanta Braves. Let's head into our next segment, and that is, of course, the MLB.
It's time for the MLB.
Welcome to the MLB. Talk about the action from around the league. The first one, it was actually Braves related, but I said, you know what? I'm going to leave it for the MLB and not talk about it when we get to Tomahawk Takes. But the first one was the Rookie of the Year awards. The National League, your winner was Drake Baldwin. He led all rookies in the National League with a 3.1 WAR. That was courtesy of Fangraphs. He had a 274 batting average. That was second in the National League. 19 homers, a 810 OPS, a 125 weighted runs created plus. That led all National League rookies to playing at least 100 ball games, and he became the first catcher to win Rookie of the Year since Buster Posey in 2010. In the American League, it was Nick Kurtz, big Amish from the I was going to say the Oakland A's, but we can't say that. From the A's, he had 36 homers, 86 RBIs, 64 extra base hits, 90 runs, 619 slugging percentage, a 1.002 OPS. He absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it. Guy was drafted last year. Came up to the bigs the very next year. He led all rookies with those stats that I mentioned. And he had that crazy game in Houston. If you remember, he went 6 for 6 with 4 home runs in that single ball game. The guy absolutely crushed it. He's going to be an exciting player to watch going forward for the Athletics. Manager of the Year in the American League, it was Stephen Vogt of the Cleveland Guardians. If you remember correctly, there were 11 games back and under 500 on September 4th in the American League Central. The longest, I forgot what I was going to say. They were the farthest away that they were from first place this season was 15 and a half games. But as I just mentioned, there were 11 games back on September 4th. They come back and win the American League Central. Stephen Vogt leads that ball club. Fortunately, their season was ended a bit later in the playoffs. But again, the awards are voted before the playoffs start. So you got to give it to Stephen Vogt there. He led that team back to winning a division title in the National League. It's Pat Murphy of the Milwaukee Brewers. He goes back to back when it comes to Manager of the Year awards. 84 wins was the projected mark for the Milwaukee Brewers. They end up winning 97, the most in the majors this year. That was after having an 0-4 start. They lost 6 starters. They had 3 big win streaks, an 8-game win streak, 11-game win streak, and a 14-game win streak, a franchise record. And he just led this ball club. I don't know how they do it. Milwaukee, sometimes you feel like, you know what, I don't think they got it this year. But they're always consistent. They're always figuring out ways to be successful, to be a great ball club. And that's exactly what they did under Pat Murphy. Heading over to the Cy Young Award. In the American League, of course, Tarik Skubal wins the Cy Young. That's his second. He goes back-to-back. He went 195 and a third of an inning, 187 ERA plus. Is he going to have a three-peat next year? We're going to have to stay tuned for that one. And in the National League, it was Paul Skeens winning his first career Cy Young, a unanimous one. At that, he had a 1.97 ERA and 187 innings, 187 and 2/3 innings pitched. Very, very great season for him. And Tarik Skubal as well. So congratulations to those guys. And then the big award, the MVP award in the American League. It was between Aaron Judge and Kyle Raleigh. You couldn't go wrong. You couldn't go wrong. Personally, I would have gone with Kyle Raleigh just because, again, everything he did as a catcher, it's immeasurable, man. This guy you can't quantify what he did as a catcher and putting up those numbers that he did offensively. But again, like I said, you couldn't go wrong. Aaron Judge had a monster season as well, and if he wasn't hurt, his numbers would have been even crazier. But Aaron Judge, he led the American League in runs, batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage. He had 53 homers in the year, 114 RBIs. So congratulations to Aaron Judge. All rise. And Kyle Raleigh, shout out to Kyle Raleigh, man, hitting those 60 bombs. Or 62, whatever it was. Can't remember correctly. I think it was either 60 or 62. He absolutely killed it. The National League, of course, is Shohei Ohtani. The show goes on. That's his third MVP in a row. It was unanimous. 55 homers. He led the National League in runs, total bases, slugging, OPS, and he had a 2.87 ERA in 14 starts. Of course, he was back on the mound. There were some other awards that were given out. The Play of the Year was given to Denzel Clark. If you haven't seen that one, go to YouTube, go to MLB.com. I'm pretty sure it's going to be there. Entertainment of the Year, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. takes that one home. MLB Executive of the Year, it's Matt Arnold of the Milwaukee Brewers. The Hank Aaron Awards, they go to Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. The Mariano Rivera, Trevor Hoffman Reliever of the Year Award goes to Edwin Diaz of the New York Mets and Aroldis Chapman of the Boston Red Sox. The DH Award, the Edgar Martinez DH Award goes to Shohei Ohtani. And the Comeback Player of the Year Award goes to Jacob deGrom of the Texas Rangers and our boy Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves. Those were all the awards, guys. Those were the awards. So we're caught up with that. And then we have some other moves that were done around the league. We have some other moves. The Mariners, Seattle Mariners, they get Josh Naylor back. He's going to be over there at first base. Who else? The Baltimore Orioles and the Los Angeles Angels, they made a trade. Grayson Rodriguez, former first-round draft pick, he was out the entire 2025 season. He was traded over to L.A. With the Angels. Taylor Ward, he's heading over to Baltimore. Very, very solid guy. One of my fantasy outfielders in the last 2 years, actually. The last 2 years I've had him on my fantasy teams. .792 OPS, 36 homers. He's going to be a free agent after 2026. Perhaps why the Angels were willing to trade him over to Baltimore. 4 players accepted the qualifying offers. Qualifying offers this year were about $22 million. The first one was Trent Grisham. He is going to be staying in the Bronx with the New York Yankees. Big season for him. Had 34 homers in the season. Is he able to replicate that again? We're going to have to wait and see. Brandon Woodruff, he's staying in Milwaukee. He accepts his qualifying offer. Gleyber Torres, Yankees legend, he accepts his offer. He'll be staying in Detroit. And Shota Imanaga will be staying with the Chicago Cubs. There were some players that declined their qualifying offer. Remember, if they're picked up by another team, their former team gets a compensation pick, a draft compensation pick at that. Kyle Schwarber, he declined his qualifying offer. Kyle Tucker declined his. Ranger Suarez, Framber Valdez, Bo Bichette, Edwin Diaz, Dylan Cease, Michael King, and Zach Gallen. All those guys declined their qualifying offers. Again, they're signed by another team. Their former team is able to get a draft compensation pick. Field of Dreams game. That's going to be back. I forgot the date, but it's going to be between the Twins and the Phillies. We took a few years off from the Field of Dreams game, but it's going to be back, and it's going to be on Netflix next year. Yes, you heard that right. Netflix. It was a 3-year media rights agreement with ESPN, NBC, and Netflix. There's going to be about 30 games throughout the season shown on ESPN. They'll be able to sell and distribute MLB.TV through ESPN. That's what they got in their agreement with the MLB. NBC is going to be hosting Sunday Night Baseball. Yes, Sunday Night Baseball. And they're also going to be having the first round of the playoffs. So no more Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, guys. That's going to be now on NBC. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to stream it on Peacock. So if you have Peacock, makes it easier to be able to stream from your mobile devices. Then Netflix is going to be hosting the WBC games in Japan. They're also going to have the Home Run Derby. And they're going to have other special games given on Netflix. So, again, you have Netflix, you're going to be able to stream from your mobile device as well. That makes it very, very easy to watch these ball games, which I'm excited for because I didn't have ESPN Plus, so I was not able to watch any of these games. That early Sunday game matinee thing on Roku, that's done with. That's not happening. I don't even think dudes were watching those games. I wasn't watching those games, bro. That's too early. Like, come on, bro. So that's gonna be that. And I saw something else when it came to the I think it's the what's the Little League game called? What's the town in PA with the Williamsport, the Little League Classic? I think it's between the Braves and someone else, but I'm just blanking out right now, like a bozo. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I'm probably not gonna find it, but it's okay. We got a nice techno beat here in the background when it comes to the MLB. For some reason, I can't find it, guys. That's my apologies. I'm going to give it a few more seconds. Here it is, Little League Classic, August 23rd. The Atlanta Braves against the Milwaukee Brewers. So that should be exciting. And for Braves fans, this is not... I should have said this earlier when it comes to Tomahawk Takes. But for Braves fans, the Braves Fest is back. I think they took a break on that as well for a couple years. Or maybe it was just a year, but... that's going to be January 31st. They also have the Braves Gala. If I'm able to stack up some money, I'm going to hit up that Braves Gala. I'm going to go over there. Fly, baby. But we'll see. I got a few months to try and save up for that. So we'll see if I'm able to hit that up. Another thing I want to hit up, and this is in the near future, it's the Braves Fantasy Camp, where you become a major leaguer for a weekend. It sounds corny, bro, but I would love to do it. It's pretty pricey, but I would love to do that. I might have to start a freaking GoFundMe for that. But I heard this year they're going to play other fantasy camps. So I think they're playing the Yankees fantasy camp and some other teams' fantasy camp as well. They're going to be having games playing against each other. That sounds fun. That is lit. So that's something I want to do as well. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm able to do that at some point. Again, I might start a GoFundMe page just for that. See how far we can get when it comes to that. But I think this is all I got, guys. This is all I got. Let me see if I could get some quick news here. Let's see here. The Rangers, they non-tender Adolis, Garcia, and Jonah Heim. The Diamondbacks, they re-signed James McCann. Angels, they hired Brady Anderson as their hitting coach. Who else? Jonathan India and the Royals, they avoid arbitration. What else we got? Giants acquired Joey Weimer. Phillies claim Pedro Leon. Twins acquire Alex Jackson and avoid arbitration with Justin Topa. Let's see what else we got here. I'm trying to make it quick here. Let's see. Royals signed Alex Lang. Let's see. I think that's all I got, guys. Yeah, that's all I got, guys. That is all we have for the MLB. Let's take this song off. I'm tired of it. Thank you guys for tuning in. My apologies for taking a while to record another episode. But again, there was not really much to talk about. And I don't want to make episodes just on strictly, rumors and speculation. I don't want to do that all the time. There's a few of those podcasts. That's what they're doing right now because there's not really much to talk about. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be speculating and I might have a prediction episode or something like that, but that's just one episode. I'm not going to do that every single episode that I'm dropping. So I might as well wait for things to go down. We got something to talk about, keep you guys updated and stuff like that. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm back. The Chop Seat is back. We're going to see what else happens. If there's some crazy move, I'll make an emergency podcast. I'll go ahead and record it and keep you guys posted with that. But if not, we're going to, space the episodes out a little bit. It's going to be a long off season. It's going to be a very long off season. It's going to be slow. So we got to be patient with it. We got to, just give it some time for things to go down. So this is all I have for today's episode of the Chop Seat. Make sure to share, follow, subscribe, whatever you got to do to keep in touch with the show. On Instagram, it's at the Chop Seat Pod. On TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter, it's at the Chop Seat. And on YouTube, it's at the Chop Seat as well. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever else you listen to podcasts. The Chop Seat should be there. Not the Chop Sheet, but the Chop Seat should be there as well. And again, if there's anyone that you know that loves baseball, share the show with them. Tell them about Vic and the Chop Seat. And I would appreciate that very, very much. And last but not least, if you're buying any tickets, remember, go to SeatGeek and use code CHOPSEAT20 to save $20 off your first purchase. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. And we will see you next time on the Chop Seat.